You are currently looking at a map of Georgia. Oh wait, wrong Georgia. This is an actual map of Georgia, a nation known all around the world for many things like, well, honestly, I don't think they are known for anything in particular. Actually, I am willing to bet that 99% of the world's population has no idea this place even exists. But regardless, Georgia is actually a very nice and interesting place. Throughout history, Georgia has been an international punching bag. Everyone from the Greeks, the Romans, the Persians, the Byzantines, the Turks, the Arabs, the Mongols, the Germans, and obviously the Russians have invaded this place. Even today, they are still getting bullied by their much more powerful and larger neighbors. Despite all that, however, Georgia has managed to keep its very unique identity throughout history. They have a very interesting culture, beautiful traditions, their alphabet-inspired notch to add enchants to Minecraft, and the nation overall speaking is one of the most beautiful on the planet. Economically and politically speaking, the nation is also in a very unique position. They are stuck between the West and Russia. They have a rapidly growing economy, mainly due to being a logistical center and a tourist destination, and they are suffering from a horrendous brain drain. So in this video, let's go over the history of the nation. How did the nation end up in the position it is nowadays? Why was one of the most powerful men to ever walk on the planet born here? And lastly, what the future holds for the nation. Georgia has had a very interesting and a quite unique history. It's actually one of the first places on the planet anything resembling civilization came into existence. Their history since the beginning has been more or less centered around one single thing. They are always the little guy in the center. For example, during Roman times, Georgia was stuck between Rome and the Persians, and because of that, they were constantly harassed by both due to being a minor power in a very suboptimal position. One of the most, if not most important years in their history has to be 337. During that year, Georgia became one of the first nations in the world to adopt the Christian religion, which is something that even to this day plays a massive role in the Georgian identity. But their modern history has been more or less entirely shaped by one single country. Obviously, I am speaking about the massive country north of them. In 1801, Russia annexed the territory of Georgia, and they kept it under their control until the fall of the USSR, with the only exception being a short 3-year attempt at independence after the end of the First World War. During this time, Russia tried their best at Russifying the country. The main way of doing that was by making Russian the official language of schools, courts, and the government. However, that didn't end up working. By far and away, the most remarkable thing to happen during this period has to be this man. Joseph Stalin wasn't a Russian, as many people often think. He was Georgian. However, despite being a Georgian, Joseph kind of hated his own country, and Georgian history books mention him as the worst thing to ever happen to them. He was one of the main reasons that the Red Army invaded Georgia, which killed off democracy in the country. He killed and arrested thousands upon thousands of people he didn't like. He destroyed their economy and attacked their church, but above all, he forced them in a Transcaucasian federation with Armenia and Azerbaijan, which has created a lot of international disputes for them with those countries. Despite leaving the Union during the early 90s and attempting everything within its power to distance itself from Moscow, Russia even today plays a massive role in the nation's geopolitics. Right after independence, 2 regions in the north of the country, called Abkhazia and South Ossetia, fell into civil war. Russia saw this as an amazing opportunity to block Georgia from ever joining NATO or the European Union. So they decided to give the separatist military support and equipment. And in 2008, while the West and the rest of the planet was focusing on the global economy not collapsing, Russia launched a surprise 5-day invasion into Georgia, which ended with them recognizing the 2 regions as independent nations. However, aside from Russia and the island nation of Nauru, for some weird-ass reason, no other nations on the planet recognize them even to this day. Another fun fact about this conflict is that since 2008, Russia has been practicing borderization on Georgia. While that word might seem scary and very complicated, in reality what it means is that they send some dude to pick up the barbed wire that marks where the border is at, and he moves it a few meters every few days, which I personally find hilarious and somewhat sad. Internally speaking, Georgia is in a very weird and complicated situation. While the nation does hold elections, many people believe that those elections are usually staged and rigged, which has caused massive protest and political challenges inside of the nation. But despite all the political problems they are facing, the nation's economy is doing surprisingly well. Many economic metrics like GDP per capita, quality of life, and foreign direct investment are seeing very positive signs of growth. Some of the primary reasons behind it are a booming tourism sector and Georgia becoming an international logistical center. The tourism part should be obvious to everyone. After all, this nation is one of the most beautiful places on the planet, but their ability to be a reliable logistical center which links the West and the East has proven to be very lucrative for the country. Another surprising source of revenue has been Russian immigrants. After the geopolitical challenges that began in 2022, many highly skilled and very wealthy Russians have decided to leave the country for a better future in Georgia. Those immigrants took with them their savings, their businesses, and obviously their skill sets, and as of now are contributing billions of dollars into the Georgian economy. But despite the strong growth, the reality is that the nation is still in a very dangerous and volatile position. If anything goes wrong, like another Russian invasion, a political challenge appears, or their major industries collapse, then the nation might once again find itself in a very bad situation. But regardless, I am still very positive for the future of the nation. Click here to learn more things about the world and have a great rest of your day.